Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hi. It's yeah. It's some months ago, and in a streaming software, OBS, some changes happen, and I hope now it works. And I say warm welcome to accidentally after hours live stream. Today, the topic is Watson Assistant extensions, and yeah, why I do that? I like the new capability which is now available in Watson Assistant, and that is the reason what motivates me for that live stream. And I also created a GitHub project you can use, and yeah. So let's start with the a little bit of the background. Yeah. So Watson Assistant, yeah, um, provides you assistance to integrate in your web applications or on different channels, not only in web applications, different channels. Yeah, to be used as a bot, but it is much more than a bot. But that's not the topic for today. Yeah, so it's about integration today. And I created some times ago, and no, it's not a live stream, it was a video related to a preparation of a hackathon, how to integrate Watson Assistant with yeah, to external data information, yeah, you provide with webhooks. So this is still available. Yeah, that's still available. So here, that is the video. Yeah. So and now there's a huge development and huge progress, I would say, from my side. Now available inside Watson Assistant, because now we can use APIs, really APIs in yeah, we can define by our own. And the cool thing is, it is defined by an OpenAPI specification. So, and what all that means, I will show you, and I will show you that when we are going through a short project, and I will download that project, and which will go to the steps I created. Yeah, for you, you can also follow when that stream has ended, and hopefully, yeah, the recording worked. I do not know. Yeah. So on my side, Central Europe time, it is yeah, it's 10 minutes to 8 o'clock p.m. for sure. And now we're going to the topics. Okay. Where is my project? Here's my project. Examples to develop and configure Watson Assistant extension APIs. I plan maybe if there is enough time to add some additional examples. And now I notice when I see it here in the software, you don't see what is on the screen. So I need to be a little bit more smaller, and that needs to be done with the OBS software. And now I go into the background. Yeah, I'm away now, and so I come back and show it here. Haha, much smaller. So, and you can see it. That's the reason how I organized here the sizes of the screen. So now that you can see it. So hopefully everything works. Okay, so going back, and now, yeah, that is the example you can also access. Yeah, it's on GitHub. And the objective is, as I said, to provide some examples but also examples not only from the integration perspective directly in Watson Assistant, it's also a little bit how to develop it. Yeah, I would say that now what we are doing is beginner, intermediate, because we touching a lot of topics. We're touching the topic that we going to implement. Yeah, when I go here to the example, when you see here example topic, it's a Node.js application. Yeah, we have a short exchange about the application itself, what the application does, then how the application will be developed, and the application will be also containerized. And the application will run on a serverless, yeah, on a on the serverless code engine capability on IBM Cloud. So and platform, and that is, yeah, that is what I really like, because I really like that we going to build a container, using a container, because that is what is today, what is the state of the art, using containers and run it. And an easy way, and a really easy way to run a container is, for example, here with Code Engine. So I don't have to write any deployment YAMLs and so on. And if you want to know more about some additional backgrounds, I also added some additional resources here, also about Code Engine related. I also created a workshop for that, but that's, yeah, so that's on top. Yeah, going back to the main topic, the example. Yeah, so going back to the example, Node.js example, and so Node.js. I see just a Node.js, not Nodes.js. Okay, I have to change it. So, and then the first step is now, what is the application? The application, what we will do, the application is just Node.js server, which fulfills the need that we have one REST API. Yeah, so one API specification, and we have also some other endpoints, but they are not documented in the API. Yeah, so that is important to understand. And next is that we will here then do the documentation, and we do the implementation. And we will take a look in the code. It is very easily secured. It's only basic authentication with base 64 encoded. Yeah, so that is all what it does. And yeah, with a user and password, what we're doing, and the configuration is externalized. That is important to know that it's externalized. And the next is, with that we are able to containerize it, and we will later on here deploy it. And the tested runtimes is local containerized version, local with Podman, and also running with Podman. So that is what I plan to do now. So it takes a little bit, I would say, yeah. And now we are going to do that. Let me go to that. That's the example. So, and for that we need to go to the repository. I enlarged the screen very much, so then it's for you better to see, but for me it's not so easy to navigate. So let's go to here. That is the GitHub project, and we will clone that to the local repository. So here is my Visual Studio Code, and here we will clone it to. Okay. So let's see. Okay. What was that directory? Okay, but I will delete it. So that's not a problem at the moment. Okay, so we have downloaded. Here is the source code. There are also some helpers related to here the admin usage related to the automation to deploy the application. Yeah, so that is to make all that stuff easier. And now with that, we've done that, so let me go to that the examples. So that is what I did, and now we will do following. We will now run that example locally. But before we run the example locally, yeah, so we can go here to first of all to the so make the code up. So clear. Is it that here? So yes. Need to go into the right folder. Okay, so now we in the right folder, and with that now we can copy the environment template I created, the environment template, because later on we will generate also the environment files, and later on we will also load it. Yeah, and that is about the containerization. So we take a look at that. So now I copy that into a new file. So you can see that's the env. That is our example usage. We can say here that I can say here live stream. It's a live stream usage. Okay, and the next is that we can npm install. So clear up npm. I like copy and paste. So npm install, no vulnerabilities found, 8 packages. Okay, and then we run the server with Node server. So the backend is running, yeah. And let's see here. Localhost, it was now, how was it? It was 3000. Yeah, you can see the Node extension is running, yeah. And the next is what we are going to do, and you see here also, we see here, we did not an authorization at the moment. Yeah. So okay, that's maybe a little bit very close. May I make that a little bit bigger? So because so that's so that you can see that. And the next is when we have verified the output, and now we can invoke the endpoint, and that's the endpoint, and that is important though. That's for an API, so that we have really the version of the API and the operation which is invoked, and so that is then later also important for the documentation. So now go forward. That's here. And now we do the authentication. So, and that is example lifetime usage. Okay, it's working. Cool. Yeah. With that, we have our running application. What I also did here, when we take a look in the application itself, I also show when the API is invoked. Yeah, when you take a look here, when the API is invoked here with get message, I log, yeah, it's an example. I log some information, and I also show here as an information in the console output also the return value, so that we really can see a lot of a lot of output, and that so that we also can see from where does it come, and so on. And that is also at the beginning here with the request JSON, so we can see here. Okay, everything is running. That's cool. The next is that we are going to, with that, we are going to the next step. We have that running, yeah. And now we're going to build and verify the container. So therefore, I need to run my Podman. So just to see Podman is running. Yep. So we see Podman, the invocation works. And now I will execute here that script. Let us take a look in that script, what happens in that script. I going to create a container with a container name. That will be my local image name. Here you can see. And with that, first of all, we take a look if there are images already, container, and then I maybe will stop them, I will delete them. I build a new one, and then I invoke it here in an interactive mode, and I provide these environment variables. Yeah, so they're the environment variables we are going to use inside our application, as you have seen before. So, and then I will, then we can test it. And that is what I will execute. So that is what I like. I really like to write that in scripts to avoid any typing error and so on. Build and verify container. So let's see. So it built, and so just take a look in the container. So that the multi-stage container here, that is our base. We set that directory. Then we are going to copy the source code here, and we install it. We run the npm, and then we create our encoder, the production container, and that is important to know how is done with the externalization. We have here our Docker endpoint, and we create here our config, which is used for our Node.js application. So here we are going to do that. That means here is our you remember the env will be generated for the container, and that is the entry point for us. And here I provide some additional log information. That is the log information what we currently see. And as I say, you can always remove all that stuff, because that is just for learning and understanding. It's not really that it's not important. You should remove that if you really do that in production stuff. So, and okay, that was the next step. Cool. We have it, and now we should also verify if it is running. And Oh, we can see here, and that is what is here is that local extension, and you can see that is the message. We already authenticated. That is in the that is stored in our browser, so can do that. And with that, yeah, we are done for the local development. Yeah, and that's cool. And the next is what comes in when we go to that, when we say here, as I said from the beginning, when we are going to do from the example application development, and now the deployment, and we deploy it later onto Code Engine, that we have done all that externalization. The container is available, and now we can deploy the container. And then, but before we do that, for later on, for the usage inside Watson Assistant, we need to specify an OpenID documentation. What I haven't done in that context, I haven't done that with the possibilities to create a documentation inside Node.js. I don't want to add additional code to that, and that's the reason why I wrote that manually here. So let's here update. That's my private IBM Cloud account. So go here. So that is what I did. Okay, now I see. Before I forget that, for sure, when we later on will use it, we also need to push a container to a registry, because if inside the code engine, yeah, we can not connect our local computer. We need to get the container from somewhere, and that is what we are going to use, and that is what we need also to do. So with that, I will first of all, before I do the next step, as I promised, with the specification of the OpenAPI's documentation, first we will upload the container to a container registry, and therefore I will change a little bit the image name, so the Node.js assistant, and I call it livestream extension. Yeah, so that is what we have here. I call it, that is in version 1. Sure, but a lot, as I said, there are a lot of topics, and it takes a while, and I will create some bookmarks below in the description after the live stream, so that you really can skip what you don't need if you don't really if you are not interested in all that development stuff, yeah, of that example. You can skip directly to the integration, yeah. So now I will push the example to my repository on Quay. You can use the Quay for free. Yeah, it is a little bit. It got a little bit complicated to register. I use it since a while, and that's the reason why I really like it here. So I just use it, and now you have the unified login with Red Hat, and don't be afraid when you are register and for the usage here. they say, okay, you have to pay, but there's one free. And if you use it and you always publish your containers, that they are official available, so you don't have to pay for that. Okay, and that hasn't changed. So that as far as I saw in all the documentation. So going here into the here you can see that's the last one. Yeah, and here I now make that public. And that's important also for later, because I want not also to cover the topic with the configuration of the secrets, accessing the container registry. That is, I don't want to do. Yeah. Okay. Now going to the next step. So we have the container available. Yeah, the container is available here. And now, with that, we have it. Was successfully tagged. And now we can go to the next step in the example. Yeah. That is later on for that is for the deployment. But before I really do the deployment, I really want to show you also the OpenAPI specification. So that is here. So and the OpenAPI specification, what you can see here, that is what we will later use. Here we will create the OpenAPI specification or the documentation in version 3. That's the important, and you can use that here for the Swagger Hub, just to verify the documentation you wrote or maybe you got. So if you want to do that, but that we will see later on. The next step is when we are going to deploy it to CodeEngine. We will create we need a project, an application, and we will also create two secrets. And as I said, we will have here the specification, the OpenAPI specification that you can see here now. Now we take a look in that. The OpenAPI specification for OpenAPI documentation for our REST API here, and that is what we have. We have here base authentication. Here we will later have our URL, which is in the CodeEngine. That is our information. That is the specification and documentation of our path of our operations we are providing, the REST endpoints, the API endpoints, and then here is the return value. Here are the return values what we are providing. What we provide as the return value. Okay. Yeah. So now go to the next level. So we are going now to deploy that. Going back. Now we're going to deploy that. So and now I need to configure a bit once again the script I created. And what we also will do, and you can see here, now we're going to use CodeEngine. At the moment I have no project, and then when the script was executed inside the project, we will create a project for us, and then inside that project we will create here one application with two secrets. The secrets are for the for our user and password, and then we will deploy, and then the application will be deployed and will be available. So that are the pre-configurations we have. I'm already logged on IBM Cloud here, and here the specification. So let's go to the deployment. It was version 1, right? So let us take a look into the inquiry. That's the name. And the tag is, yeah, X version 1. So let us change the name for the image. That's the name for the image and version 1. Then we are fine with that. Yeah, that's okay. And for you, I created here several functions. Yeah, how to create a secret, and that is now the deployment to Watson, not Watson, to Code Engine. With that, that is really easy. Yeah, just to create and repeat it, and so you do not really to know everything which is needed here. But yeah, if you want to, you can just follow the functions, the implementation, and here is a very straightforward information about the setup. And here you can see here I create the OpenAPI specification also for you, so that you do not need to copy and paste anything. So everything is automated, so to ensure as much as possible not to have any misspellings, hello, errors, and so on. Okay, yeah. As I said, I'm logged on. I'm now fine with that. Let's see in the invocation. So query is for me okay, the registry is okay, that's okay, the extension, the name I configured, and now I will create here that. So maybe here I will use US South in that context. So that's other region, yeah. So use it on the cloud. So now we set all the environment variables which were used or which will be used inside our bash script. So with that we are done, and then we can set the target, which is here. So we use that also to verify that I'm logged on. Okay, so I'm logged on now, and now I can here deploy it. Now we can follow inside IBM Cloud that the project is creating. And by the way, everything what you are currently using, you can use for free. That means when you directly delete the application what I'm now creating, or maybe stop the application after that, then you will not pay any money, because the cool thing is with Code Engine you pay as you use, and it directly scales to 0. And that is also a reason why I really like it also to test some functionalities also in my private accounts. Yeah, so and that is very cool with that. So and normally you can verify everything by yourself, yeah, without paying additional money. Yeah. And now going to the project, and we can take a look into the application. So then the application will be created. So, and that takes, yeah, okay, it takes a bit. Yeah, it's deploying here. Yeah, when we wait here, I can just maybe hear a little bit about my music. It's not so silent. Yeah. So yeah, everything is live. That's a live stream. It takes a little bit. So when did we start? Oh, okay, it's half an hour now. Oh yeah. It takes a bit. Going to all of that. So you can see that. But what we can do at the same time, so here, oh, now it's very close to get ready. It's deploying. What we can do at the same time, maybe here I open up a new tab, because what we later need, we later need an Watson assistant. What we also what we already can do, we can create a Watson assistant. Excuse me. A Watson assistant instance. Yeah. Just wait before that gets ready. Deploying. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't want to do that, because that makes it too much up. And maybe that's better to have just a sequence. It takes a little bit, yeah. And that is what it does. It takes a bit. That is. So now we have it running. And what I also do at the moment, because I don't want that it scales down at the moment, yeah, because when we invoke it later, and I know that it will not run very long, I also changed the runtime configuration here. You can see how easy that is. Edit it here, and I say here plus, so that I have a running instance. At the moment, that is not what serverless intended to be, I know. But for now, that's easier, just to avoid that we have any latency for that, to get the application up. Okay, so, and with that, yeah, we are very close for the next topic. And let me see. Yeah, there. Yeah, now we have also the JSONs. Yeah, the JSON with the specification here. And now we can verify that I create in my Swagger, create an API. So that is, I have no project, I have no template. So, right name. Example in example. Let me say extension live stream. Create API. So here, and yeah, here's an example. we do not use at the moment. So, and now what we're going to do is we copy and paste just what's here, and I do that. You do not need that to do. Yeah, it's just for you to see how that works. And what is also important to know when you go now to the now we are close to go to the integration to Watson Assistant. Watson Assistant understands the OpenAPI 3.0 version in a JSON format. Yeah, that's important. And here we post it now, and it's converted, and we can see here now. That is what what it does. You can see that is, and we also have the server specification now here. We can authorize with admin. No. 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 Choose my own password. Is it admin? Authorize. Close. So, and now I can go here to get, and I can also try out and execute. Yes, it wants again, so it was not stored. Admin. So, code engine usage, and that is what what is specified inside code engine here with the environment variables. And the cool thing now, we can also configure an own version, and we can edit that, and we can say here that is our usage in code engine live stream usage. Okay, so now it will restart. Yeah, we verified everything is running. Yeah, that's okay. Cool. Verify the output. Everything is okay with that. We couldn't be for sure if it works here, it also works in the browser. Yeah, so there is no need also to verify that. And now we go to the next step. That is already done. Now we're going to configure the Watson Assistant. It took us 40 minutes, yeah, to develop, or not to develop, to reproduce how to develop that extension, to get a little bit understanding how that works, and now we use it, and that is very cool. Now it's very easy. Yeah, now the very easy point comes in with the create Watson Assistant. Now we create Watson Assistant. Now the cool thing is here for free. We can not the location, because I want to also to use the location in US dollars. And with that, I like maybe naming, call it live stream. So, and that is about the extension. Default. So, yeah, and just create it. So now we are in the Watson Assistant service, and now it's time a little bit to understand how the dependencies are in Watson Assistant, and that is what I haven't shown at the beginning. I maybe should have done that, but I forgot it. So let it. Yeah. So here, and now we are here. What is important to understand when we now have the Watson Assistant service. Here, that's our service. We can have, and the Watson Assistant service can contain a lot of assistants. Yeah. So, and that assistance can contain environments, or does contain environments, have integrations, and that is the important point here. The integration contains extension catalog, and we are providing one extension based on the description of an open API. Yeah, and then yeah, we can consume it inside, for example, that is what we can do here, in an action inside a step. Yeah, so that is then an overview how the dependencies are. Okay, and now with that in mind, yeah, we go to the Watson Assistant, and we do not really configure a big yeah, board or big assistant. I say it that is extension live stream. So, and then next. So I don't want to do that. I say that will be maybe in the web. Yeah, that is what. Choose an option. Other. So, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Personalize. We did it. Now we go back. Other. Not sure at this time. Okay. Maybe sometimes it is. Oh, where was it? When the screen is so big, I maybe I miss. So, okay. So I could configure now the Watson Assistant to a specific need, but that's, as I said, that is not really at the moment a topic. That is awesome what Watson Assistant provides here, but at the moment that is not the focus. So now we have created a Watson Assistant here, and what I want to create is just an action. So we have here the different environments, as I said here. What you can see, environment, actions, and that is when we go back to the specification, as I said here. We have the environments. Now we're going to specify an action. We create an action from scratch, and the action is the intention what you want to do. Yeah, and at the moment we have not really an intention what we want to do. I only want to show an integration in that context. So I just say it. Use my extension. So, and here we could specify specific other endpoints. May I can use my extension. I don't want to specify that, yeah, at the moment, and that is not a topic at the moment for really specify the Watson Assistant or maybe a chatbot. Yeah, it is really about integration and all this development stuff. And now I can say when that happens, yeah, and even we do not need a condition. We can say here I can okay. So let me just do that. Continue with the step. What we need, we use an extension, and what we now to need, what we need, when we want to use that extension, we need to set up the extension, as I said. So and now it comes to the point that we need to go to the save here. Now we need to go to the environment, and what the cool thing is when we go take a look at the environment here. So okay. Close. So and now we can go to the let me see here, where's live? Configure the environment, log message, close. The integrations. Sorry, I forgot. Not the environment. First I need to go to the integration. Yeah, as I said, and the integration. Yeah, so that the environment is different, but later on we will point to an extension when it's given. Okay. So and then here, now we can build a custom one. And that means here now we will integrate it. So here we will use the extension name, and I will now use the extension name here what is given in our documentation. I will now reuse the title stuff. So that is here, and also what is inside the description. Okay, go next. And now we I drag and drop the needed code. So the JSON file, I do it from I copy it from my second screen. Now the JSON file, which was just created, I put it here, and you can see that's the assistant extension. And we can review what's there here. And that is the specification. You remember all stuff we did. So, and with that, we are done. And when we take here once again a look here, so we had now the integrations catalog, the extensions. Now we need to add it to an environment. Here we're going to add that extension we added, we developed, and now we add it to an environment. So what is now, when we really add it to an environment, we really also specify the authentication information. Yeah. And what it's now, really, what the cool thing is, we have only one one API operation method, and that is not what it normally is. You have a lot of, and that boosts your possibilities very much. Yeah. And that makes the flexibility compared with which was in which I showed here in that old video, that is not comparable. That is, yeah, it's much better, much better. So it makes, yeah, it's really cool. And now they have the basic authentication. We can save here the name. If we would have different server, because we know in the specification of the documentation, we can specify different authentications. different servers, and then we would be possible to select different servers. At the moment, we have only one server. Yeah, and now, yeah, that is here. Now we are finished, and now our integration is added to the environment. So, and now you see it here. So, and you have seen you can do that with a light plan. With the light plan, you have the ability to do one of them. Okay, now we have it. Yeah, going back to the understanding, we have here the environment is associated to an extension. We have an action, we have step, and now we need to organize that the step or the steps using the extension. Let us see how that works. That is my action here, or our action. So, and now we can say here use an extension. So, and so what we can say here just wait, I will get the information from the extension. And for sure, I think it's not needed that I can tell you which huge capability it opens up. Even in that case, in that small case, where you not pay anything and just to try it out. Even with that, you can try out a lot. Yeah, it depends on what you develop, what your integration is. The important thing is that it is compliant to the specification. Yeah, and it really works with the specification, and then you can use it here. That's awesome. So, and now we go use an extension, and now we can select the extension. You can see here, and now, and that is what I meant. Yeah, if you would have more, if you would have more operations available, yeah, you could select here, and it's not bound to one, and that is what is really great. What I really like, once again, compared to a webhook here. Yeah, you can configure the webhook and have a parameters, and maybe from there you can get some additional information. There were also ways to do that, but here's is directly. That's cool. Sorry, but when I say it too often, but I really like it. So yeah, and now you can see that that is how it will be invoked. And really to show it, we add a next step. And in that step, I don't know, it's here, yeah. So we can say here, and you can say, this is your information. Okay, this is your information, yeah. And we get from the body, from that message. And then we say we end that action. This is your information. Is this not awesome? Okay. Yeah. It took a bit. Yeah. An hour. But it is a lot what you have done. Yeah. It's really a lot what we have done. And as I said, it is a little bit is from beginner to intermediate. It depends on the level, how deep you go into all of the stuff. But we touch a lot of topics. And now going to the preview, and we say here just extension. Is our assistant smart enough to recognize that? Oh yeah, you can see it. Maybe plus. Oh yeah. Oh, now it's much. I hope you have seen the rest. Oh, maybe it was not too small for you. So now you can see. Maybe you go back again. You can see now it works here. So let us go back to the different other configurations I did with the environment here. That's in the environment here. You can see that's our specification here. Yeah, and we have here the integration. Okay, and you can see here is our specification or the extension we created. Yeah, we did it. And all is documented here, and can change it. And what I will also, yeah, I will do only a small change here. Yeah. Just to recap again, what we did in that live stream, that objective really, we developed from scratch. Yeah. Oh, you understand, to develop from scratch an application, yeah, server, Node.js server with REST endpoints, and part of the endpoints are documented as an API with an OpenAPI specification with base authentication. We run it locally for the externalization of the authentication configuration, what we did. And okay, here what I also will do, and maybe it's time for make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's the, I go down. Sorry. Yeah, I changed the room. Yeah, and what we did now with that, huh? I'm still there. Are there any problems? I don't see. Oh. Okay, so maybe here a problem with the display. Okay, now okay, it's back. Yeah, what we did once again, the development of an application locally, then we run it as a container, externalized it, deployed it to the cloud, configured it very easily in the cloud with the code engine. We created an Watson Assistant instance. We did the integration for the Watson Assistant here with the, let me go back. Here, what you see here with the dependencies here. Yeah, and I hope it was useful for you, or maybe not now, and there were not a lot of yeah, participants in live directly, but maybe when you watch the recording and when I also added the directly the smart or the path to a topic. Yeah, first live stream since a long time, and also very long. And I would say, not I would say, I say, that was my accidentally live stream with that topic. And now I want to say bye with my music I created. And just listen a little bit to that. And then I can say I will stop the streaming. Oh, I haven't. Here's still some coffee.